All right, my friends, welcome back. It is February 28th, 2026. How has your year gone so far? Is it going by better than you thought it would? I mean, can you believe we're already heading into March? It's just crazy how fast it's going by. So I'm just sitting out here on this Saturday morning, paying my bills like I do every week, which I dread doing around this time of the month, because it just seems all the money just seems to go through my hands like sand. But, I recover, as we all do. And anyway, so I just decided to make a video on the fly, not knowing really what I'd get into. I will tell you, though, we celebrated my oldest son's birthday yesterday. He turned 25. I have four kids. He turned 25. And one of the things I got him was a watch. I've never bought him a watch before. And so I got him a Timex. Now, I've looked at watches for a while, and I don't really like digital faces too much. I think they look cheap. And when you start comparing watches, you go down a rabbit hole, and the options are just endless, right? I mean, as you would assume. But I ended up getting him a Timex with an analog face. And when I ordered him one, I also ordered myself one. So this is what I got with a leather band. And what I like about it has that indigo feature, I should say. And that's nice. But I like just a simple watch. I don't like a watch with a lot of complications. I don't need an alarm. I really don't even need the day of the month on here, which I do have on this one. His watch is a little bit different than mine. But this is nice. A nice leather band. With the gold on here. Not real gold, obviously. But it's a nice looking watch. So anyway, if you want to check it out for yourself, I'll leave a link down below. And you can check it out. So anyway, that's nice. Don't really need a watch. I mean, we have time on everything, our phones and whatnot, but it's just nice having one. It's like having a pocket knife. It's just nice to have. It's like one of those things you just need if you're a guy, right? So anyway, not knowing what I would speak on today, I just opened up a few things and decided to make some comments on them. Maybe read you a few quotes or something. I don't know. I just feel like I need to touch base with you guys. So, every morning I look at my quotes in my book, and I found one that I really like a lot. And so this should give you something to think about. I really liked it the other day. Someone named Mary Jean Iron, she said, "Normal day, let me be aware of the treasure you are. Let me learn from you, love you, bless you before you depart. Let me not pass you by in quest of some rare and perfect tomorrow. Let me hold you while I may, for it may not always be so. One day I shall dig my nails into the earth, or bury my face in the pillow, or stretch myself taut, or raise my hands to the sky and want, more than all the world, your return." Now, I like this because this is a recurring thought I have too, and I think it's just normal as you get to be older. You look back, and every year was the good old days, right? There was a time even in my 20s, and I thought, life is so terrible, or whatever the case might be, or my 30s. You don't understand how good life is then. When you get to be older, all that in the past seems so wonderful. And you begin to realize that no matter where you find yourself in life, no matter what age you are, you should enjoy it now and see this very day as being the very best day that you may have. It's a good approach to have, because you will look back on this time, regardless of what you're going through, and realize it really wasn't so bad. I mean, even the difficulties contributed some way into making your life better. And so you don't want to get to a ripe age and then realize that you just threw away a lot of the years of your life not appreciating where you were at the time. And so it's a healthy attitude to have. So, I don't know if you've ever heard of this or not, but one of the things I like to do is I like to go onto the internet and look up Time Magazine Vault. Okay, Time Magazine Vault. I'm assuming probably a lot of you have not heard of that, but Time Magazine, you can go back and into their archives and read all of the magazines they've had out since the early 1920s. And I like scouring those and just see what were people talking about back then, what was making the headlines, and it's just funny some of the things they report on, but it just seems like nonsense or maybe too personal or crazy. Some things are just crazy. Well, I found one, kind of keeping in step with what the quote I just gave you. There was from the February 20th, 1933 issue of Time magazine. In the People section, there's a tiny little article, and here's what it says. Said philosophical editor William Allen White of the Emporia Gazette, which is out of Kansas, as one grows into one's middle 60s, death seems more reasonable than it does in childhood and youth. The thought of death used to terrify me. Now it just seems a natural thing, a part of life, just another experience, whatever it is. So many of my friends have faced it, why not I? In the meantime, why fret about it? I have been shaving this funny old face every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for years and years. I have come to look on it as a mask behind which lies the reality that it has to hide. It is getting a bit battered and shop-worn. Perhaps it would not be such a bad idea to cast it off and let dust return to dust. You know, you'll find as you age, your thoughts on life, how you've lived it, and how it might end, are abundant. And I understand this. I used to have all sorts of thoughts about longevity, and I even have strong opinions about medicine and the injustice it does to us, the technology we have, and the advances we've made, and how it keeps us probably alive too long, right? In many cases, and but I think it's healthy to be able to adopt an attitude like this, as William Allen White was referring to here. Your feelings and opinions do change as you age. You begin to accept things a little bit better, right? You think of them in terms that almost seem silly, but they're really not. You know, it's just a way of adjusting to your reality. And I like how he referred to his face as just a mask behind which lies the reality that it has to hide. So many of us are living life. We're living life, and we bear the lines and the scars of doing so, and oftentimes we're just way too hard on ourselves. And I don't think many people even come to realize that, even until much later than now. You know, hopefully the sooner you learn that, the better off you'll be. You need to give yourself a break every once in a while and realize that life is hard, and it might be why you don't have the energy you used to have, or the desire, the burning desire for things you used to have. That's okay, and I think it's acceptance is a good thing. You know, I wish I could have learned it a long time ago, but maybe it wouldn't have played out in my favor, and maybe that's supposed to be how it works. I don't really know. So anyway, I came across something that somebody said. Believe it or not, I guess there was a Cleveland newspaper columnist named Charles Farrar Brown. He lived from 1834 to 1867, and he was kind of a humorist, and he's kind of thought of as kind of like the first stand-up comedian here in America, or as far as historians regard. And he had a lot of funny things to say, but one of the things I thought he said that really wasn't necessarily funny, but kind of poignant, was this. He said, "Trouble will come soon enough, and when he does come, receive him as pleasantly as possible. The more amiably you greet him, the sooner he will go away." Now, I've thought about that a lot this week. You know, when trouble comes our way, depending on the kind of form it takes, we oftentimes resist. We buckle down. We muster up strength. We form a strategy and we attack it, or at least we dig our heels in. We resist, right? And when I read that, I thought to myself, I wonder, I like turning things on their head, things that make you think. And I thought, what would that look like if when I run across an obstacle, an impediment that challenges me or threatens me, what if I greeted it amiably instead of feeling like it was a threat? I mean, maybe you'd have to see it as a threat. Maybe that's why you would approach it that way. Hope you don't hear my dishwasher going. But an amiable approach, could it really make your troubles go away quicker? What do you think about that? I haven't thought about it through to its end, but I have been thinking about it all week. And I really don't know. I don't really know where the end of my thoughts on that will take me. But it's something I would like to experiment with. And maybe instead of fighting my problems, maybe I should rub elbows with it, greet it, walk hand in hand with it, befriend it, and see what happens. Tell me if you have tried that approach yourself before, because I seriously doubt that most of us have even thought of it. All right, I'll share one last thing with you before I get out of here. And I put my glasses back on. I can't see anything hardly without them anymore. That's one of the things that you have to deal with as you get to be older. I guess some people have to deal with it sooner, but I've always prided myself in having good eyes all my life. Then when I got to be about 45, I couldn't avoid it anymore. Here's one interesting fact. Worldwide, more people die each year after donkey attacks than they do in plane crashes. Right. I know, miscellaneous information you didn't necessarily need, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, I kind of wanted a donkey for a long time, but I've never had one. They seem dog-like, right? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me get to sort of an interesting story here. I'm going to jump the track here. Here's one. Chris Langston didn't consider himself superstitious. That was before his macabre discovery in the summer of 2021. The 48-year-old metal detectorist was searching a secluded forest near his home in the English countryside, where a few months earlier he'd found some broken pottery. This time, Langston dug deeper and unearthed a blue poison bottle, as in a bottle that once contained poison, along with a severed doll's head. Next, he found an apothecary bottle. Inside was a clear liquid, some hair, and a tooth. Langston brought the bottle home, and after some online research, was surprised to learn that he'd found a Victorian-era witch bottle. People used to bury these so-called counter-magical vessels full of various ingredients believed to protect the land from evil spirits. Urine, hair, and teeth, usually from the same person, were very common. What would you do if you found a witch bottle? Langston asked his 30,000 Instagram followers, most of whom responded, "Put it back." He still wasn't sure, so I did take it to my mom's, and she said to me, "Get that thing outside." The next day, he brought the bottle back to where he found it and returned it to the earth. Langston said he didn't think he was cursed, but did reveal this juicy tidbit. Because a bit of the wax and cork had broken, I got a 150-year-old wee all over my hands. I guess that's better than having a curse on you. I mean, but still, I can't imagine. Hopefully, you don't find any buried treasure that turns out to be something kind of macabre, formidable, and anyway. I've never done any metal detecting. I have no interest in it, and it seems like a colossal waste of time in most cases. But anyway, I guess I'll just stick to YouTube videos. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. Catch you in the next one. In the meantime, be wise.